Hey, everybody. This is the 1.2 Progressive Behavior AI update. What's new? Well, for one thing, all NPCs now always turn correctly to their place of work. There were some problems with it before, now they always turn where we want them to go. Second, now all actions can be divided into sub-actions. Thus, you can create one global action and apply several minor actions to it. For example, now every playset has a spline. All interaction goes through this spline. What does this look like in practice? You expose the spline in the same way as before, but with one difference. But now this belt has a spline component. You can run it however you want. Add new points. These points are indices from 0 to infinity. In this case, they are counted as 0, 1, 2, and so on. Here you can assign a different animation to each index and the time for this animation to run. They are counted the same way 0, 1, 2 and so on. 2 and so on. Here, if you go to your NPC's schedule, you can see that the job start event has been significantly redesigned. If you go to this function, this variable passes just the index of the spline on which the NPC is currently located. Depending on this index, you can invoke your own logic in your character. For example, once he reaches a certain point, he can have tools in his hands, he can change his state, type, and so on. This is where it completely depends on your project. Let's see what it looks like in practice. NPCs always start at point 0. Point 0 is where your belt is located. Starting with the next interaction, they start already picking up and moving along the spline, interacting with the spline. Point 0. Performing the first animation. 10 seconds. Second animation. It's index 1. Index 0, there was no animation. If there is no animation, the NPC just comes back again. Either goes through the whole route and returns again to point 0. The action is repeated indefinitely. Also, each index has its own coordinates, and the NPC follows them strictly. The same goes for turning. If we turn the point around, then the NPC will also rotate depending on the given rotation of that point. This way you can create more interesting and believable interactions with NPCs, create the appearance of a living world. The sequel follows. As you can see, the NPC is turned the other way, depending on this index. The number of indexes can be created indefinitely. It's entirely up to your imagination.